Bitcoin has seen a strong continuation to 52,000. In today's video, we're going to be discussing exactly what you need to be paying attention to prepare for the next move, how high Bitcoin could potentially go, and what the macro charts are looking like. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the short term, the midterm, and the macro charts, going over the key levels you should be watching out for, the current trend, the possibility of a short-term correction, high time frame targets, and of course, what the macro charts are looking like in regards to a developing bull run. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. It is the third link down below. You'll get daily updates on charts, analysis, videos, educational posts, news events, and so much more. If you're interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join our VIP group. We post trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, and exclusive analysis. You'll also get access to a multitude of group chats, so general chat, trading chart, education chat, trade setup chat, news, help, and daily video chat. If you're interested in access to all of that, go ahead and contact us in the pinned comment of the free channel for more information. Before we get into it, guys, I just want to say a massive congratulations to everyone on this channel. Not only have we been on the money calling this exact bottom here when everyone's expecting us to go to 30,000, we expected a $52,000 target the moment we broke over that 49k level, and we have reached that. Zooming out to the channel, if you've been following the channel for quite some time, you would know we have been buying and we have been bullish on Bitcoin, and we'll show you proof of that ever since June 2022. We planned our accumulation plan, looking for entries at 16,500 to 22,000. Again, on those positions, we are up a total of 210% to entries down in this range. So if you've been following the channel, you've been around over here, not only have we predicted every short-term move, but we've been in this high time frame uptrend, and we caught the exact bottom of that after calling the exact top. So congratulations again, all of the proof is on this channel. So big congratulations, but let's get into it. So starting on that market data, how are we looking? 24-hour volume is up 1.2%, sitting at a total of 135 billion. 24-hour liquidations are up 16%, sitting at a total of 178 million, still relatively high for the 24-hour period. And that is expected as we saw again another day of mass short liquidations, coming with 141 million of the 178 million in short liquidations. If we go down to that smaller time frame chart really quickly, we can take a look at what actually developed here. We had again a large amount of absorption developing on the price action. What is absorption? Well, absorption is essentially what it sounds. It's the opposite of exhaustion. When the price action has relative weakness, okay, we are seeing momentum fall, but the reaction in the price is not reflective of that exhaustion. Okay, so what we see is we have higher highs in the price action, and we see that RSI continuing downwards, making these lower lows. Okay, that is a reflection that the bulls are actually absorbing the selling pressure that is occurring from the developed exhaustion during the period of price action that we are viewing. In that instance, it was this period over here. We told you guys, unless we lose this base of support, this lower level of 48k, we are not expecting a correction. In fact, we were expecting a continuation to 52, which we did actually see. We'll come back to this in the short term. So with that move, a lot of shorts liquidated as everyone was expecting a correction. Moving over to the DXY hit our target of 105. Again, we've been looking for a 105 target for quite some time now. The 105 target has been reached, potentially could go as high as 105.5, which will be this range low over here. However, again, this area is going to be our reversal range. So we're now well and truly in that reversal range for DXY. A breakdown of this uptrend is now needed, and we are looking for a correction back to this base of support. This will be very bullish for traditional assets and for Bitcoin. Moving over to traditional markets, the S&P 500 retested that $5,000 of support on that weekly chart. With 1 day and 23 hours remaining, it would be great to see a weekly candle close above this level. However, we are pushing very high now. We do need to see some sort of healthy correction developing at some point, and we are looking for these whole numbers. 5,000 would be our ideal area to actually see that develop. But until then, we can't speculate. We have to observe what is occurring. Right now, support is support until it is not, and thus we expect a continuation while 5,000 holds as support. If we break below 5,000, we would like to see a break under the opening price of the prior weekly candle. That would indicate relative weakness and could push the price into a short-term downtrend. Again, guys, even if we come all the way back down to 4,800, this area of support over here, we would still definitely be in a high time frame uptrend. That correction, if occurred, would be a buying opportunity and would be considered a healthy correction for a continuation back upwards. It would only be bearish if the price action loses this retest at 4,730. Moving over to the broader markets again, down to the Dow Jones, we can see that $39,000 target, which we did have for many months, has been reached, and it is acting as an area of resistance. A very similar pattern over here on the S&P 500. We do have our uppermost level of support. Again, while we remain above that, we are expected for a continuation upwards. If we lose that weekly low over here at 37,700, we could see a correction to retest that prior all-time high. Again, a perfect bouncing point, a perfect reversal point, only looking sketchy if we drop back below that point. Enough about that. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. And like we said, we have a ton to go over because the price action, guys, is very interesting. So we'll go ahead and jump in. But before we do, a quick word from Bitget and BingX. I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss the two exchanges we use on this channel, Bitget and BingX. So which exchange should you sign up to? If you look to the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see the list of differences in relation to KYC requirements and the countries these exchanges offer services to. The first link down below being the Bitget link, and the second link down below being the BingX link. No matter which link you sign up to, you're going to get up to 15% discounts on your trading fees, up to $5,000 in trading rewards, and of course, you'll get access to every single MegaWhale exclusive bonus campaign we run on these exchanges. Alongside that, Bitget and BingX are incredibly similar. They are both ranked top 10 in terms of trading volume. They both have extensive liquidity pools and market pairs offering up to 125x leverage. And most importantly, they both offer protection funds for their users to protect you against any third-party hacks. So get started now and support the channel by clicking the links below. Thanks for listening. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump in, starting on the short-term chart. So what is really happening over here for Bitcoin? What do we expect to see, and what would the next move likely be for Bitcoin? So first and foremost, to answer any of that, we have to define what is happening from a structural perspective. Where are our supports? What is the current trend, etc., etc. So right now, we have two trends we are watching. We have our short-term uptrend. Let's go ahead and draw this one in a little bit more accurately. This is going to be our short-term uptrend represented by this uptrending diagonal trend line, this black trend line. I put a little arrow on it. And then we have our higher time frame uptrend, which is represented by this diagonal trend line. These trend lines act as what you would expect them to act. They act as the trajectory representation of the trajectory of price action within a specific time frame. They also act as trigger points where, if broken, it would signify that the trend has been lost on that specific time frame, which could result in a reversal. That is very important. We have to be watching out for these levels. So at the moment, we are in a strong uptrend while we remain above this black diagonal trend line, and we are in a strong short-term uptrend while we remain above this black diagonal trend line. I would not be expecting corrections unless these levels are lost. If we do lose this initial level, which is going to be this trend line, we come down and we retest this area at 48k, which is going to be our primary base of support. A loss of 48,000 will likely push Bitcoin down to retest this second black trend line, where we're going to find massive support at the 46 to 45.5 area, which I've actually marked out over here just to show you how significant that area of support is. If at any point we lose this uptrending trend line, that is when we would expect a high time frame correction, back down to 40,000. So what am I saying? I'm essentially saying any expectation below 46,000 as of right now is too bearish and holds no validity, okay? It is illogical to assume two trends will break and having a target below here. We have two downtrending or uptrending support lines that we are acting in support and many horizontal levels that are acting in support before that occurs. Now, on the flip side, you could be short term. In instance, you could be expecting a short-term reversal. If we were to see a short-term reversal, where would that develop from? So let's go over to this chart. As we can see, if we pull up this chart over here, we do have a little area of resistance that we are just touching. It's the area between 52,000 and 52,900. It is this area right over here, and we can see on the VRPV as a divot. If we were going to see any sort of reversal, any sort of healthy pullback, any sort of correction, it is going to develop from that 52,000 to 52,900 area of liquidity. Okay, so we are now retesting that area. Let's hypothetically say we reject from that area. Where would Bitcoin go? Again, guys, we have that strong base of support at 48 to 46,000. This is a major high time frame level of support, and even if Bitcoin corrects all the way back down into this range, that impacts the trend zilch. It has no impact on the trend. Remember, going back to this chart, where does that level line up with? The 48 to 46,000, we'll go ahead and box it out, is going to be this area here. So we have that 48,000, okay, area of support, and then we have that 46,000, which is going to be in confluence, okay, in confluence with the current uptrending support line. So we have a whole bunch of support below us, even if we lose this short-term uptrending support line. So that is the bearish scenario, guys, in the short term. We could see a potential rejection from 52,000. If we are going to see any sort of reversal develop, it is likely going to be from this 52,000 to 52,900 level. And it's important to note that even if we do see a reversal from this level develop, it is still going to be considered a healthy correction for Bitcoin on the broader sense and on the higher time frames. To answer the question that a lot of people might have is, when would that correction be considered unhealthy? When would that correction result in a steeper correction of Bitcoin in a higher time frame? To simply answer that question, we have to go back to this cluster of price action we were observing for many weeks. And that is going to be the cluster between that 48,000 level, okay, and that 46,000 level, specifically the range between 45,500, okay, and 40,000. We can see over here, we have a range and we have our deviation from our range, or our upper level of resistance, our lower level of support resistance. Thus, for us to actually look bearish on the chart, we would need to break below this level over here, the 45,500 level, okay, which could send us back into the range low. Again, going back to the short term, that 45,500 level, okay, it's this level right here, the lower level on this chart, again, acting as confluence from the uptrend, and you can see now how these levels are lining up. And as I said before, a loss of this diagonal trend line could push the price back down, which is exactly what we just showed you on this higher time frame. So there's absolutely no reason to expect that to occur. I would not expect that to occur yet. If it does develop, we'll be on top of it, but we need to see many levels of structural support and our trends start to break down for that to actually come to fruition. So keep an eye on it, understand it's a possibility, but do not expect it as of right now. Let's go ahead, guys, and go over the targets for Bitcoin. Where could Bitcoin theoretically go? So if we go back to this daily chart, we can see we've had some significant progress on Bitcoin in the last few days. We talked about our positive RSI shifts, our positive momentum shifts. If we take a look at these momentum shifts, we had two occur. We had our short-term momentum shift occur over here, and we had a higher time frame momentum shift occur right over here. From those points, we are up. If you took an entry on the point of which the shift occurred, you would be up around 21% on that first one, and on that second one, you would be up around 8 to 9%. So we can see again how RSI, how momentum can be leading for price action, okay? It can be a leading indicator of what the price action will do next. So let's go ahead and discuss what the short-term price action is doing, and if we're going to break above 52,000, and if we do, where would we expect the price action to go? So down to an hourly chart over here, guys, let's take a look. So what we're seeing over here is, again, the price action is moving very steep upwards into this area of resistance. 52,000 to 52,900 is an expected area of resistance. If we look at our current structure, we do have some resemblance of a rising expanding wedge formation, okay? A rising expanding wedge formation. This is of some degree of concern because it is, again, a reversal structure. It is something we do have to pay somewhat attention to, but it isn't really validated until we have that fifth point, and the fifth point would be a retest of this uptrending support line. So provided we do not come back down and retest this area, this uptrending support line, I wouldn't be too concerned about what is developing on the price action right now. In fact, if I do zoom out to a 4-hourly chart, what we can see again on the RSI is that during this period, we're seeing exactly the same thing we've seen many times develop in the last few days. We've seen, again, we're seeing the RSI drop, okay, which is a sign of overall exhaustion. Okay, we go ahead and draw this in. We have the bearish divergences play out, the RSI drop, a sign of overall exhaustion. You can see on the price action, we created highs over here and lows on the RSI, which again, like I just said, is a sign of exhaustion. But now we are seeing that positive momentum shift again, which is a signal of absorption. The price action is regaining strength and actually negating the negative momentum that was developing through this trend, which could very well push Bitcoin through this 52,000 level. So where would Bitcoin go if we break 52,000? Like we said already, going back to the daily chart, we actually don't expect a very high target. We do expect a retest of around 52,900. It is only if we break 52,900 and we clear that gap in the VRPV, then we expect the price action to continue. Where could we theoretically go then? Well, again, like we said, guys, that is the last resistance. We're looking for an all-time high. After that, how long will it take? Can't tell you. When will it develop? Can't tell you, but we're looking at the target for the next move, okay? If we zoom out from a structural perspective, Bitcoin is looking fantastic. There's absolutely no doubt. So let's go ahead and get into the macro charts. Now, what I'm about to say is incredibly speculative. This is going to be very speculative. So I don't want you to take this at face value. This is purely a little idea, a bit of analysis I'm throwing in there. What I look at this chart and I see personally is what we'll call a rounded bottom. We have a very clear rounding bottom formation. A rounded bottom formation is a bullish reversal pattern, okay? When we take a measured move analysis of a rounding bottom, we take the measured move from the low of the bottom, okay, to the neckline of resistance and apply the breakout from the neckline of resistance to our target. So according to this rounding bottom formation that we saw in the high time frame, a break above the all-time high could send Bitcoin to a next stop at $80,000. So if we're giving you a high time frame target above the prior all-time high, we're looking at $80,000. If we do validate again a break of this level, we push upwards, we break this level, then we are looking for 80,000 as that next target. Pay attention, guys. Everything's very bullish right now. Only if we break below this level are we then bearish. Let's go over to the macro charts, guys, and finish up the video. So a lot of stuff I want to talk about. First and foremost, when will I be looking to sell? Again, what do we have at the moment is the 4-year cycle. A lot of people are thinking the 4-year cycle is breaking, but sort of breaking over to the 1.618 fib or whatever. They're saying, oh, the Fibonacci breakout, you know, monthly close. We're breaking the 4-year cycle. No, wrong, incorrect, zilch. Doesn't make any freaking sense because guess what? The 4-year cycle has nothing to do with structural levels and everything to do with the date range trend. The 4-year cycle is simply a date range trend. This is the 4-year cycle here. The days between the tops and bottoms, the days between accumulation into the bull run, from the bear market into accumulation into bull run and into the next cycle. That is what the 4-year cycle is. It doesn't matter where we go. It doesn't matter structural levels that occur within the 4-year cycle. It only matters that during the specific phases, we have a bear market that lasts on average 13 to 14 months. We have an accumulation phase, which lasts on average 16 to 17 months. And then we have a bull run phase, which lasts on average 18 to 19 months. That is the 4-year cycle. So breaking above the fib level, is that significant? Yeah, sure, we haven't done it before. It suggests relative strength. It shows us that we are seeing a very strong market, but does it break the 4-year cycle? No, it doesn't. It doesn't break the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle is valid. The only thing that could break the 4-year cycle is if we create a new low going into the expected bull run phase, or we do not create a new all-time high going into the expected bull run phase. Now, we could see an earlier top or an earlier bottom. That is perfectly fine, but those are the validation points. Now, if we are looking at the high time frame chart, I have a lot of people wail, when are you selling? What are your macro targets? I'm not going to give you macro targets, guys, because anyone telling you they can predict where Bitcoin's going to be exactly in 2 years from now is blowing smoke in your face. It doesn't exist. It's impossible. No one's got a crystal ball. I don't claim to be a predictor. I don't claim I can tell the future. I simply analyze the charts. I simply relay to you what the buyers and sellers are doing. And I base my information based on historical price action in context with economic events, in context with the strength of price action to come to logical conclusions of where the price action will likely go. And I'm a momentum trader, so I'll be trading on momentum. When will I look to take profits? I will be looking to take profits between 7 to 10 months, that window, a 7 to 10 month window after we close a monthly over the RSI on the 80. We have noticed that the top of each cycle occurs between the 7 to 10 month window after we pivot above the 80 point on the RSI. So pivot above the 80 point close, wait 7 months, then start taking profits within that 7 to 10 month window. That is what I'm going to do. Why is that important? Why does it matter? Because number one, it doesn't rely on a date range trend. It relies on raw data. And number two, it doesn't predict the exact top. You take profits during the way up so that, again, you don't sit there with I'm not going to say it, waiting for your bags to drop and you're at 90% down, okay? You're proactively taking active steps to secure profits during that expected last period of that bull run. So let's go over to this chart, guys. What are the macro charts looking like? They're looking fantastic, like we said. Year 2 of the 4-year cycle. Very interesting year, probably one of the most exciting years of the 4-year cycle. Generally, what we do see during that third year, not year 2, the third year, is we see a break over our dotted trend line, okay? And we see a retest of the prior all-time high. So we are expecting a retest of the prior all-time high during this year, guys. If everything goes to plan and Bitcoin is able to hold above, again, these key levels are not drop back below 45K, okay, we are expecting a retest of the all-time high this year. Moving back to this chart, if we go to a monthly chart, what else can we see over here is we can see the price action is actually completing a very similar pattern we can see in the past with the Bollinger Bands. What we notice is we enter a bear market, we cross the midline, and then the first time we close over that monthly candle over the upper band of the Bollinger Band, that is when we remain in an uptrend until the all-time high, okay? And we do not break below the midline again until after the all-time high. So I'll show you again, okay? Bear market, bear market, bear market, bear market, monthly candle close above the upper band of the Bollinger Bands, okay? We go into a bull market, bull market, bull market, all-time high. We break below the midline, and then we're back into that bear market to lows. We have now seen again that monthly candle close above the upper band. We are expected to be in bull market territory until we create a high, and then bear market territory again when we break below that midline at any point in the future, whenever that may be. So if we do see breakdowns of that midline, that is going to be a massive red flag if it does occur. Again, where is the midline sitting? It's sitting all the way down 30,000, so it's unlikely we're going to even retest that. I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Cheers.